Hello guys, how's your day going? I believe that the Lord is faithful to you. He's been there all every step of the way, doing what He knows how to do best. And that is showing forth His goodness in your life. Welcome to a very special broadcast of our program, Readings of Grace. This is taken from my office. I just decided to do this with my phone and share with you how the Lord has revealed to us the things we've been sharing recently on social media concerning the biblical end times. So it's going to be a series I've been working on for some time now. I would expect that you try to see how you can follow up as we touch these areas from one point to another. Now, this will be the part 4 of what I started, and I'd like to start by saying that the term end time or last days is not basically a New Testament term. How I grew up, I actually thought that this was something that Jesus started, but in my studies I have discovered that the term last days or end times is not a New Testament phrase. In fact, the truth is that in the New Testament, the apostles, the disciples, even Jesus himself, they had their teachings based on Old Testament prophecies. You'd also realize that when you think it again, Peter, James, and John and the rest didn't have the New Covenant in writing. They had their studies from the Old Covenant, and in their studies they saw Jesus revealed there, his work, his finished work. They saw the end of days. They saw everything they taught was based on their discoveries from the Old Covenant. Unfortunately, in our time and age, many of us Christians do not have a firm understanding certain things from the Old Testament. Most of us are understanding stopped from the kings. So the books of the prophets or minor prophets, many of us are not even aware. Sometimes people are surprised when they tell them of a book called Nahum, and they're like, who is Nahum? So, but when you read through those books, you get to discover a lot of prophetic languages, symbolisms that were used, especially in the New Covenant. And this is why it's important for us to understand these things. We don't just throw up ideologies based on current events, but understand from the Old Covenant. Now, I'd like to read to you somewhere from the book of Daniel. Daniel 12 verse 1. I'm starting from there now. I'll be making use of the New American Standard Version, which I'm actually getting to enjoy these days. It said, now at the time, Michael, the great prince, who stands guard over the sons of your people, will arise, and there will be a time of distress, such as never occurred since there was a nation until that time. And at that time, your people, talking to Daniel, everyone who is found written in the book will be rescued. So in the book of Revelation, we find the book of life mentioned there, and we see that those whose names are not written there are cast into the lake of fire. Now, please realize that the timing in the book of Revelation states at the beginning, the first chapter and the last chapter, that those events were soon to take place, which has to do with the events that concern those whose names are found written in the book of life. As we see here in Daniel, those whose name is found written in that book will be rescued. Rescued from what? From the distress, the problems, or the trouble that was upon that nation, that will be further nation. Those who are rescued will be those whose names are found written in the book of life. And of course, we got to know from our studies in Revelation that those whose names are found in the book of life are those who have been saved by the Lamb of God. Alright, now in Daniel 10:14, it says, the angel talking to Daniel tells him that, now I have come to give you an understanding of what will happen to your people. Very important, not us, not people ahead of us, not our generation, to your people, who? The Jews, of what will happen to your people in the latter days. For the vision pertains to the days yet in the future. As at the time he was alive, the vision was not to occur, but the vision was to occur in the last days. And the things he mentions in those visions, talking about the 70 weeks prophecy, were all to culminate in that generation, in that time. Now, Jesus said in Matthew 24, verse 21, "For then there will be a great tribulation, such as not as occurred since the beginning of the world until now, and nor we ever will." Matthew 24, verse 21. Jesus is echoing the words of Daniel here. He is also referring to that time, and he is letting them know that this is about to occur. If you go down to verse 34, that's in Matthew 24, Jesus said, "Truly I say to you," not to us, "this generation will not pass away until all these things take place." In Luke 21, I want to show you something very important here. Still Matthew 24, verse 15 to 21. "Therefore, when you see," not us, "the abomination of desolation, which was spoken of through Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place," let the reader understand. The reader, the primary audience, understand. "Then those who are in Judea must flee to the mountains. Whoever is on the housetop must not go down to get the things which are in the house. Whoever is in the field must not turn back to get his cloak. But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days. But pray that your flight will not be in winter or on the Sabbath, for then there will be a great tribulation." When? For then, as at that time, for then there will be a great tribulation, such as not occurred since the beginning of the world until now, nor we ever will. So these things are very clear if we can actually apply our heart to see scriptures just the way it says it, without having to now fit scriptures into our own theology. It's very clear. The last days were the days when he was alive for that generation, the things spoken of through Daniel. Hallelujah. And we can rejoice because we now know we're now living in the days of